Man, so much for a new car. Look at that.
Yeah, I told you it was dirty.
Jesus, wow.
And not only that, you know, when you do a waterless wash like this car didn't look too dirty. You know, you commented on it. As you know, because you clean the car, how many dirty towels we have now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You need to have plenty of clean towels when you perform a waterless wash, because if you keep reusing the same towel, you'll scratch the paint.
Yeah, and you're just putting that all back onto the paint, right?
Exactly, yep. So now, Bruno, the next step is the car is clean, obviously.
Right.
All right, before we put our sealant and our wax on, we need to mechanically decontaminate the paint and also chemically decontaminate the paint. So if you put your hand on this paint, I mean, right off the bat, it feels okay. However, if you were to put your hand in, say, a plastic sandwich bag, it would actually amplify the sensitivity of your fingertips, and it'll show the true condition of the paint because it amplifies everything. And even though this is a brand new car, it's an Audi, so it's German, right?
Right.
And these are shipped from Europe, and then they're on a rail car. Convertibles aren't that popular, so chances are this sat at the dealership lot for a few months, and the paint, therefore, is contaminated, even though it's brand new.
So it's a brand new car, but it's probably been kicked around for the last 6 months.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
around the world and back.
Yep, exactly. So the first thing we're going to do is use a clay bar.
But wait, let me ask you something. Don't the dealerships, like in part of that prep they charge you $9.95 for, isn't that included? I mean, like, doesn't it come waxed and ready to go, right?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
You know?
So usually they put some type of inexpensive spray wax on there.
Okay.
So when you, the customer, go to the dealership to pick up the car, it's nice and shiny. But it doesn't last that long.
Well, and you're probably, when you get a new car, your heart's beating out of your chest because you're so nervous, first of all, and excited. And you're like, and under the lights, oh, it's shiny, look at, until you probably get out in the sunlight, or God forbid you put one of your lamps on it, and then you see what's really there.
Yeah, you'd be surprised when you get home and clean it, just how contaminated it is. So the clay bar, the way this works, Bruno, is this is actually a patty here, and inside of this bar, there's abrasives. So what I'm going to do is take our lubricant, and this is a specialized clay lubricant, is I'm simply going to spray this directly in the vehicle. And it doesn't matter if your car is new or old, you want to use a clay bar.
Okay.
And then I take the patty, I spray some lubricant on it, and then I smash this into a circle. A little bit larger, working with my hands, kind of like Play-Doh.
Okay.
And you hold this in your hand, and you rub it back and forth really quickly. And what this does is the abrasive in here removes the actual contamination, and then it's stuck in the patty.
Oh, okay.
So it makes the paint very smooth, because gloss comes from smoothness.
So it doesn't matter what pattern you're rubbing in, wiping in, all that kind of stuff.
Nope.
I know, like with just the waterless wash, you wanted to go in a straight line. And so this you want to get freaky with.
You can go in a straight line if you like, or you can go in circles.
Okay.
I like to go like this. And a common mistake people make is they go really slow like this. All right, they go way too slow. So
Why? Why is that wrong?
well, because it's going to take forever.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
all
you're
right.
a busy guy.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'm all about let's get this thing knocked out and go have some fun with it.
Exactly. So after you clay a section, you wipe off the lubricant, and you move on to the next section. And when I say section, I really mean panel.
Okay.
So with this being a hood, this is 2 panels, okay? But you just do that, and then after you feel the paint again, it's going to be smoother, and it's going to be a lot glossier. And you'll also notice I'm using a different towel for this method. So this towel is a flat weave, and this works a lot better for wiping off clay residue instead of the fluffy towel, because at this point we're not really cleaning, we're just actually wiping off the lubricant.
Okay.
All right, the next step, now that, and you can actually feel that with the back of your hand.
Yeah,
It's really smooth.
Much
Then
better.
I can even use the clay bar wrapper, and you can feel it real gentle.
Yeah.
It's very, very clean.
Oh yeah, you're not feeling anything.
No, so that way, so we remove the bonded contaminants like airborne pollutants, rail dust, industrial fallout, even stubborn bug splatter. The next step is to use a coating prep polish. So the topical above surface contaminants have been removed. Now we're going to remove the below surface contaminants.
Okay.
And this is pretty much a pre-wax cleaner on steroids.
Gotcha.
So this removes the old dealership stuff, leaves the surface really clean, really glossy. So when we put our wax or our sealant on there, it forms a better surface to stick to it.
Okay, so you're just trying to give something to adhere to for the wax or the sealant.
Exactly. It acts like a primer almost for the surface. So you can do this by hand. It's like waxing your car. You
Small
just rub it
circles.
on there.
And how big of an area do you work in again? Like, do you treat the hood as 2 separate panels? Is that the key?
Exactly, yeah. So I would do this 1 panel at a time. And there's a lot of pre-wax cleaners on the market. I like to use a coating prep polish, Bruno, because it's a lot easier to apply. And I typically don't work by hand. I work by machine. So I have a cordless mini polisher here. And this guy is great because I can take a soft black film finishing pad, and I just apply a little bit of product.
So the black pad is non-abrasive?
Non-abrasive,
Okay.
that's a good question. So we're not trying to remove any swirl marks or scratches, we're just exfoliating the paint, basically.
Okay.
All right.
It was like when you were at the spa yesterday getting the exfoliation done.
Yes, yeah, every Thursday, that's what I do, you know?
Most people don't realize he's like 85 years old.
Yep,
He just looks that good.
Yep, plant-based diet and weekly spa treatment. So you can see how much faster this works.
And you can go quickly over. You don't have to spend a lot of time on each panel. You're just trying to get that around, right?
Exactly. It doesn't take long at all. We're just spreading it out. So this is just like waxing the car, essentially.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
what
it's
happens
way
is this chemically bonds to the surface. So when I wipe it off, again, it's exfoliating. It's removing the old dealership applied gunk, and it's leaving the surface extremely glossy, which you'll see here. Just that one spot, how glossy it is. And that's the true condition of the paint. It's very slick, and the paint is now ready to apply a sealant. So we have to actually polish the whole car, and then we'll come back and we'll slap a paint sealant on there.
All right, do I get my own clay bar? Or do we have to share? How does this work?
I'll spray the lubricant on, you rub the bar, okay?
Good.
The buddy system.